Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Sunday morning to you all. I hope you guys have had an awesome weekend out there as we're rolling on through it. Very quick weekend, it feels like, at least for me. My wife has been out of town with her family and her sisters doing a little bit of Christmas shopping, so it's just been me and the girls. So I do apologize for not getting a video out last night. Just tired and just wanting to hang out with them and just spend some time with them. So really, as far as what I was going to talk about, was going to be about, the Thanksgiving and after Thanksgiving potential system. So I'm glad I kind of waited because models are kind of starting to get in a little bit more agreement overnight. And so we're going to talk about what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing anything too wild or crazy. I've seen a couple videos out there, at least the thumbnails, that kind of depicted that. But just, just know that things are always changing. So I'll leave it at that. But obviously in this video we're going to talk about what's going to happen weather-wise for the day. Things are starting to slow back down. Not a whole lot going on. There is going to be a big-time snow band popping off Lake Ontario, not Erie, but it's pretty wild. Last night there was a band that really kind of moved north to south very slow, and for a lot of areas to just thought the lake effect snow was over. This band rolled through Buffalo and through the same areas that got 70 plus inches of snow. And I mean, it was like a thunderstorm of snow from what I've seen. So it was like one more last big blast just before things settled down. And certainly in those areas, it's going to settle down. But we're going to talk about some things. If you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. I appreciate the support. I do. If you ever thought about joining the channel, the tab's there and it's below the video. It's just a way to support what I do. I'm trying to get to 20 members. I briefly hit it back earlier in the year. So it's a great way to just support what I do. And winter's coming. It's going to be some fun times, guys. So I'm really looking forward to it and things like that. If you guys got anything I can pray about, pray over, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. I can tell you I'm feeling pretty good this morning. The coffee's hitting swell. And, guys, most of y'all know I'm a big college football fan, and my Gamecocks pulled an absolute shocker last night and beat the Vols 63-38. If you're watching and you're a Volunteers fan, I don't talk trash. I really don't. I don't do it on social media. I normally just talk about my own team. But I'm hoping y'all's quarterback is all right. And, sorry to take y'all out the playoff hunt, but anyways, let's talk about weather here. So I'm a little juiced this morning. I am, guys. I'm feeling great. Here we go. We still got lake effect snow warnings ongoing, Erie, but really it's gonna kind of slow back down. It's going to slow down for areas in and around the Buffalo area, but I really think Lake Ontario, really just north of Syracuse. But I think Syracuse will definitely get some snow. Could get over a foot of snow today. Certainly could. We'll talk about that. Still some lingering winter weather advisories down here in Texas. And then same thing up here in northern sections of Michigan with a couple counties in far eastern panhandle of, not the panhandle, the far eastern UP of Michigan. Got a couple winter storm warnings up, but just still ongoing heavy snow. Let's talk about the southeast first. There's a low pressure down here, and it's way south, the suppressed south, but not enough to where Florida will get rain. They'll definitely see a lot of rain today. I mix my words up. But low pressure way down here. It's already raining in parts of Florida this morning. It'll just be a washer. If you live in Jacksonville, Gainesville, point south, definitely almost the entire area point south will get rain today. Very rainy Sunday. Just one of those days where you get home from church or you got any outdoor activities, they're just not going to work out too well for you guys. Just an all-day rain event. Really, the panhandle of Florida needs some rain. Up here, I hear it's been very dry up here, but this is definitely just going to be a peninsula rain. It'll be rain throughout the morning, afternoon, evening, and tonight, and then it'll start to kind of diminish. But still moisture over here in Texas. We'll talk about that here in a second. But some cloud cover will kind of ooze north from this low pressure. So for a lot of folks in the deep south, southeast, it'll kind of be a cloudy day, cloudy, cool day. And then just there's probably going to be a breeze kicking up for certain areas because tonight, with the front that's pushed through, it's going to be a very cold night. Tonight might be the coldest night of the fall season for some folks. I think it's forecasted to get down to 27, 26 degrees here in Columbia, where I live, Columbia, South Carolina, which is pretty cold for November standards. I know not for other areas, but as far as how much rain can fall, I'm not buying the national blend of all models. I think a little bit more rain can fall in areas of Florida, but this is what the blend of all models is showing for Florida. It's going to be raining just off the Gulf coastline here. A lot of rain offshore, but most of it stays offshore. If we were to look at the National Weather Service on what could happen today, it pretty much agrees with the blend of all models. It's just between now and the next 24 hours. But just widespread 1/15 to a quarter inch of rain, but certain areas could be in, they get more so in the storm activity, could certainly get over an inch of rain. Up here in the Northeast, we look at the radar and what's going on. Erie seeing still some snow, not a lot of heavy snow though, but a big band's going to set up off Lake Ontario a little bit later this morning, and it's kind of streamed this way, or more so this way, and I really think this area is going to get hit really good. So it's almost like everybody's getting in on this over the last several days. They really are. And we'll see this unfold. We'll start this off right around right now. And here comes the big streamer right here. Syracuse right in here. I think Syracuse will get a lot of snow today, potentially, but just north. I'm talking about 10, 20 miles just north of town could get substantially more snow than right in the heart of Syracuse. But a lot of snow flying around. But if you look down here, it kind of slows down off Erie. But Ontario, south of the area, they got hit really hard over the last few days, is going to get their snow now. And this could be some heavy snow. And then that begins to diminish, and the lake effect snows begin to pretty much shut down, at least until the next event overnight. But as far as snowfall, what we can see with this band, the blend of all models, Syracuse being right into here, if you live just north or just northwest of town, maybe 2 feet of snow, guys, over the next 24 hours. This band is going to be is going to mean business. It really is. You look at the National Weather Service forecast, same kind of deal. Over 2 feet of snow is certainly possible in this area of New York State. And this streamer could reach all the way to central parts of the New York State, even well away from Lake Ontario. It's going to be a kind of a really strung out band and a real meaty band. So, some flurries could certainly, and snow showers make it all the way to western Mass, areas of Vermont, and maybe even Connecticut. But certainly going to see a lot of snow in this little area right into here today. So, very snowy Sunday. Put your Christmas tree up, guys. It's okay. It's okay. Just do it. It's all right. I'm a very festive guy. I got my Christmas lights up there. I invested a little bit more money than I wanted to on Christmas. Guys, for a guy, and I'm not saying this because it's not like there's not as many guys with girls that enjoy the festive part of Christmas, but I'm more into it than my wife is. I love creating a vibe in my household and outside. And then when I get it all up, I start wishing and hoping for some miracle holiday snow, because one of my biggest things is that I've always wanted to see in my own front yard is to get a snow, which is extremely rare any time of the year, but especially earlier in the winter. It seems like we hardly ever get a December snow in South Carolina. But one of the coolest things I've always wanted to see since I was a kid is for snow to fall in my own front yard around the holidays and fall on the Christmas lights like you see in these photos up north for you folks in the Great Lakes region. I know you guys say you'd get tired of it, but man, especially in December, I don't think I'd ever get tired of seeing the snow and the lights and just the scenery. I really don't. I really don't. People tell me all the time on Twitter, oh, you'll get tired of it. It gets old. I could say if it gets into March and April, which I know it snows up there in that time frame, and you got the hard, nasty, ugly, dirty snow, and you're just at this point, you're just kind of waiting for some spring temperatures, I could see how I could get old at that point. But, man, always hoping. The kid in me is always hoping for that crazy snow in December where all the snow falls on my Christmas lights outside. I'll have to post a picture for you guys a little bit later on the community tab. But it looks good this year. It looks good. I love looking at it. Sometimes I'll just stare at it. But anyways, I just rambled for 2 minutes about Christmas lights and Christmas. So let's talk about weather again. South Central U.S., still some lingering bursts of sleet, snow potentially down here. I don't think it's going to be a big deal, but that's why you still got winter weather advisories. Outside of that, the rain will begin to beef up again, amplify, if you will, for really some showers could make it all the way to Dallas-Fort Worth area later this evening. But just some scattered light to moderate rain for the heart of Texas, and this kind of starts to make it into Louisiana a little bit. into tomorrow morning. So you guys could certainly, between now and the next 24 hours, see as much as a half an inch of rain in this area of Texas. So it's been a really rainy weekend. Somebody told me it was in the 30s and raining at the Texas A&M game yesterday. So, oof, that's raw, man. But, you still got some heavier snows up here in the north central U.S. popping off. Basically the far eastern and southeastern areas of Lake Superior. And this will continue throughout most of the day. And then it'll start to diminish somewhat overnight. But outside of that, a pretty quiet day. I'd like to hear some snow totals for you folks in Michigan yesterday with the snow event that occurred. I honestly, after I talked about it yesterday morning, I never really looked at the radar again. I had so much to do yesterday along with watching the kids. But, yeah, a much quieter day, just cold, very cold. In fact, talking temperatures, the coldest air mass is over the Great Lakes region, the Ohio Valley, and the Northeast. Areas will struggle, guys, to get out the mid-teens in certain areas. Where that big lake effect snow band is going to set up, it is going to be insane snowfall ratios because it's going to be like 10 to 15 degrees below freezing. But a very chilly day for everybody in the central eastern U.S. If you make it into the 50s, consider yourself a warm spot because, it's going to be very chilly. But locked into the tundra up here, very cold temperatures, very cold in southeast Canada. And it's been very cold for Tennessee and Kentucky over the last several days. Areas in Tennessee, again, will struggle to get out the 30s and 40s. So that's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. I will have you an update tonight on Thanksgiving and just after Thanksgiving because it's very important to try to figure out what it's going to do. So hopefully we'll get some consistency on some models today. But that's all I got. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless everybody, and have yourselves a great Sunday. Talk to you soon.